At the bottom of the world lies a continent no one owns, yet everyone is watching. Antarctica is larger than Europe. It has no government, no permanent population, yet over 50 countries operate there. He can't freely travel there. You can't mine it. You can't build cities, so the question is, what are they protecting or hiding? Antarctica is the only continent on Earth without borders, without citizens, and without a native human population. Yet paradoxically, it is one of the most regulated places on the planet. Every movement, every landing, every scientific mission must be approved under international agreements. This alone raises an unsettling question. Why does a place with no people require so much control? Discovered in the early 19th century, Antarctica quickly became a symbol of human curiosity and ambition. Explorers risked their lives to map its frozen edges, often dying in the process. But once the world realized what lay beneath the ice, the narrative quietly shifted. This was no longer about exploration. It was about strategy. Despite being a frozen desert, Antarctica holds extraordinary geopolitical value. Its position at the bottom of the globe allows unmatched access to global satellite paths, climate monitoring systems, and deep Earth research. During World War II and the early Cold War, global powers realized something critical. Whoever understood Antarctica could gain an invisible advantage over the rest of the world. Yet, unlike Africa or the Middle East, Antarctica was never colonized in the traditional sense. No flags planted permanently. No borders drawn. Instead, nations agreed to freeze their claims. On the surface, it looked like cooperation. Underneath it was something else entirely, a pause button. Access today is heavily controlled. Tourists must follow strict routes. Independent exploration is nearly impossible. Even scientists are monitored, logged, and regulated. Aircraft movements are tracked. Communication systems are restricted. Why so much control over a place with nothing in it? Because Antarctica isn't empty. It's preserved for future leverage, preserved for future power, and preserved because once the ice melts, metaphorically or literally, the rules will change forever. In 1959, during the height of the Cold War, something unprecedented happened. The United States, the Soviet Union, and several rival nations sat at the same table and signed the Antarctic Treaty. At a time when nuclear war felt inevitable, this agreement stood out as strange, almost unnatural. The treaty declared Antarctica a scientific preserve. Military activity was banned. Nuclear explosions were prohibited. Territorial claims were frozen. On paper, it was the most peaceful agreement humanity had ever signed. But treaties are rarely about what they say. They're about what they allow. The Antarctic Treaty did not ban military personnel. It did not ban surveillance. It did not ban intelligence gathering. It only banned open conflict. That distinction matters. Many research stations are staffed by individuals with military backgrounds. Advanced radar systems, satellite communication arrays, and atmospheric sensors operate constantly across the continent. These aren't just for studying penguins. Antarctica sits at a strategic crossroads for global monitoring. Satellites pass over it constantly. Signals bounce differently near the poles. Submarines travel beneath surrounding waters. In modern warfare, information is power, and Antarctica offers unmatched access to it. Even more interesting is how decision-making works. The countries with consultative status, those allowed to vote on Antarctic matters, are usually the ones with the most resources and influence. Smaller nations have little say, so while the world is told Antarctica belongs to everyone, in practice it belongs to the few who can afford to be there. The treaty isn't about peace. It's about controlled cooperation, a silent agreement that some places are too important to fight over, yet too valuable to abandon. Beneath Antarctica's mild stick ice sheet lies one of the most mysterious landscapes on Earth. Entire mountain ranges, vast valleys, flowing rivers of liquid water trapped under pressure, more than 400 subglacial lakes, including Lake Vostok, sealed off for millions of years. This isn't just frozen land, it's a hidden world, and possibly a treasure chest. Antarctica holds nearly 70% of Earth's fresh water. As global water scarcity increases, this alone makes it priceless. But there's more. Geological surveys suggest large deposits of oil, natural gas, coal, and rare earth minerals. the materials that power modern technology. Officially, all mining is banned under international law until at least 2048. Unofficially, mapping and surveying never stopped. Nations are quietly gathering data, preparing for a future where environmental protection may give way to survival economics. Because when resources run low elsewhere, treaties tend to lose their strength. Climate change adds another layer. As ice melts, previously unreachable zones are slowly becoming accessible. What was once buried is being revealed, not just physically, but politically. Who gets first access when the ice retreats? Who decides when protection becomes permission? Antarctica is not just melting, it's being unlocked. No discussion about Antarctica is complete without addressing the myths, especially the ones involving Nazi Germany. In the late 1930s, Nazi expeditions mapped parts of Antarctica. Naming a Region Nusquavenland, they dropped markers, took aerial photographs, and vanished as quickly as they appeared. After World War II, rumors exploded. Secret underground bases, advanced technology, escaped scientists, even UFOs. Most of these claims lack credible evidence. No confirmed bases have ever been found. No verified technology recovered. But here's the reason the myths survive. Documentation from that era is incomplete. Some records were destroyed. Others remain classified. And several post-war expeditions, including Operation High Jump, led by the U.S. Navy, were unusually massive for a training mission. When governments leave gaps, imagination fills them, and Antarctica has more gaps than any place on Earth. The truth is likely less dramatic, but still unsettling. Nations were experimenting, mapping, testing survival techniques, studying extreme environments for future conflicts. The myths persist, not because they're true, but because full transparency has never existed, and mystery breeds legend. Antarctica sits at the center of Earth's climate system. What happens there affects sea levels, ocean currents, and weather patterns worldwide. That makes it one of the most studied regions on the planet, but also one of the most powerful. Research stations monitor atmospheric particles, solar radiation, magnetic fields, and upper atmosphere activity. Some experiments study how energy moves through the ionosphere, the same layer used for global communications. To scientists, this is climate research. To critics, it looks like experimentation on planetary systems. There's no evidence of active weather control, but there's evidence of increasing capability too. Influence atmospheric data interpretation. Models guide policy. Policy shapes economies. Economies determine power. If you control the model, you influence the world. Antarctica doesn't create weather, but it defines how we understand it. And in a data-driven world, understanding equals authority. The greatest secret of Antarctica isn't hidden cities or alien technology. It's cooperation without trust. Antarctica proves that global powers can work together, not because they want peace, but because they fear chaos more. It's a pressure valve, a neutral zone, a reminder that some places are too important to fight over openly. But that balance is fragile. As ice melts, resources emerge. As technology advances, access becomes easier. As global tensions rise, cooperation weakens. The treaty will eventually be tested, and when it is Antarctica will no longer be silent. It will become the stage for the next chapter of human competition, not with bombs, but with influence, data, and control. The coldest place on Earth may soon become the hottest geopolitical zone on the planet. Antarctica doesn't hide monsters beneath the ice. It reveals how power really works above it.